Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. This is a mini. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
And it's another family episode.
Just us chickens.
Cuddle up, guys. Come on. This is a family episode.
I'll take my pants off.
Cuddle up close to the fire. It is fire weather outside. I took the dogs out before it was chilly. I was like, oh.
It was a little chilly. We were talking about that as we walked in.
Yeah.
Got a little chilly out there today. But let's get right into it. It's a mini. Chris Rock has a live special this evening.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that. I hope it's all bashing Will Smith.
Oh, you know how much I would love that.
It would be so much fun.
But I'm looking forward to it. It's interesting. The live Netflix special.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is the first time they've
do you
done
know where
anything
it's
like that.
at? Like, where is he going to be?
I did see where it was, and now I forget.
And is he in front of a live audience too? Like,
yeah, it's a concert, I believe. But man, I saw it
forgot.
too, and
I wanted to look that up, and then I was like, dang it.
it's not like Madison Square Garden or anything like that. I think it's small, like New Orleans or something like that, maybe.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw it before, and now I'm going to look it up. And I hate looking stuff up while I'm here, but yeah, Chris Rock, it's awesome.
Why don't you tell us something you watched this week, Brian?
So, yeah, I'll do my deviation from Korean shows.
But you do have some Korean shows to speak of.
I do have, yeah. The movie I actually watched yesterday, The People We Hate at the Wedding.
People We Hate at the Wedding. I don't think I know that
It's
one.
a Prime Video show.
It's new?
Yeah, so it just came out last year. It's Allison Janney,
I like her.
Ben Platt, Kristen Bell,
Nice cast.
Andy Daly's in it for a little while.
Oh, you like him, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was funny. It was about these
What is it, the people I hate at the wedding?
people we hate at the
People
wedding.
we hate at the wedding.
And
I've been
Allison,
to a bunch of weddings. Isn't that everybody? Isn't that everybody not like your people you went with?
true.
Like I've sat at tables where I'm looking across the table. I'm just like, who are these fucking people? I don't want to talk to any of them.
I don't want to get to know them.
I hate being that person. Like I'm not A-list. I'm not even B-list. I'm at the C-list table.
Yeah.
I'm like with other. Like they didn't have enough of my people to sit us all at a wedding table. So now I'm
So
like
you get
with,
sprinkled in with the table.
I'm with
people.
like work friends and like the guy that lives next door. And I'm just like, shit. I have
How do you know Cynthia?
I have nothing to talk to you people about. Anyway.
Allison Janney has a daughter when she's living in England, and then she gets divorced.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, and then she gets divorced and she gets married.
Is
and has
Allison
two
Janney
more
playing a
kids.
British woman or is she regular?
No, she's American.
Okay.
And her husband was like French, but they were living in Britain at the time. So her ex-husband is super rich. So the one daughter grew up rich, and the other two kids grew up, Midwestern Indianapolis. And then it's about the rich daughter getting engaged and inviting everybody to the wedding. And there's been a rift, and they used to be really close, but
The
then there was
regular
a
kids
rift.
can't afford it and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
and so it's about them all coming together.
It's
They
a comedy?
flying to England, and
like
yeah,
it?
Comedy?
yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I liked
Is
it a lot.
new? Is it like recently came out? Like
Last year.
2022, yeah.
okay, cool.
So, I mean, it's got a little Ben Platt. I mean, he's gay, but he's playing a gay guy, and there's a
You
little
don't have any problems with
heart,
that.
a little
Do you?
little graphic, graphic gayness in it. So I enjoyed it, but just as a warning to the homophobes out there.
That I think that listen to us.
Are you saying that?
do we have a big homophobe group? I know you have numbers on who listen. I was going to say, like when you're looking at our numbers of like where the podcasts are, do you also have their
I have their country.
Like
But it
Thailand?
doesn't tell you if
Is
they're
Thailand on
doesn't tell
there?
you if they're homophobes.
Oh, no,
anti-Semites or something like that. Because if we have a big anti-Semite group, maybe we steer towards them.
That's true. Everyone should email us, exciting a new podcast at Gmail. Just email us your
Also,
what your leanings
your political
are.
leanings as well. You leaning left, right? Where are you at?
Nothing would be greater than having us discuss that stuff now. That
I
would be
think
so
we
much
do
fun.
we do a great job of straddling the line.
I don't
think so, yeah.
I don't think we go towards the line.
No, we try and stay away from the line as
There's
much as
one
possible.
toke over the line, maybe.
maybe once in a while. Depends who the guest is sometimes too.
Sure, we may skew,
We have to rein in a guest here and there, but whatever.
but it's all good.
Something I watched this week was streaming on Peacock, I believe. Yeah, Peacock had it. The new movie Megan with the backwards E. It looks like
the
a
horror
3.
movie? Yeah.
it looks like a 3.
The Child's Play
Yeah,
remake.
It was
or something like
fun.
that.
It was definitely a fun movie. I would recommend it. Yeah.
It looked fun when I saw
I
the
have
commercials.
one problem with it, and it's the boss has a lisp
Okay.
and it plays weird. It's weird when he's trying to yell at people in it. It just doesn't seem.
You're a lispophobe.
Is it?
I have a lisp, so I can speak about this.
I have a lisp too.
Is the actor naturally have a lisp, or does he
No,
put it
not
on
that I
for this
not that I
movie?
know of. He's a comedian, Ronnie Cheng.
Okay.
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if maybe if it was just the way he, but if he's putting it on,
I don't think he has a lisp in real life.
Was it good? You liked it though, Megan?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was
I would recommend it. Yeah, you should.
Is it a horror movie, or is it more like is it scary at all?
It's got horror.
Does
Yeah,
it?
there's
Okay.
definitely a scariness to it. Yeah, because there's some scenes where it's like, oh, kind of like they try to get you to jump scare, but not really a jump scare, but more, yeah.
When
It's not too gory.
When I saw the commercial, I obviously thought of Child's Play first of all.
Same thing here.
And then I thought of that. I think it was Maggie from Walking Dead. I think was in a movie called The Boy.
Oh, and I remember that movie.
Where
That
she was
good.
like a nanny of the boy, and I kind of thought of that too. I was
That movie
thinking
was
of
weird.
Yeah,
man.
that was
I liked
weird
it a lot.
But
Yeah.
I
Did you
thought
see
of
it?
that when I saw.
Was
the
that where there wasn't really a boy?
Yeah, it was a doll.
Yeah.
Spoiler, like
Oh, sorry.
that's why I thought of that because of the doll aspect of that whole thing, and
That was a good movie.
yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to talk about this right away, so I'll mention something else. I woke up real early this morning, so I
Woke up this morning, got himself a gun.
besides watching the new episode of South Park season,
Very funny season.
episode 3 of season 26, I think we're on now, or something like that. And it was fun. So I watched South Park.
Japanese toilet.
Japanese
I believe
toilet
is what it
was
was
this
called.
episode.
Yeah.
The last week's episode, the Megan, not Megan. Sorry, I got Megan on the mind. The Harry. Oh, her name's Megan,
Yeah,
right?
Harry and
Okay, so
Meghan,
that's why I
yeah.
have it on.
Yeah.
The Harry and Meghan episode. They're the Canadian royal family. Yeah,
And
I
the
love.
Queen just died 5 months ago, and they're still having.
they're still burying her. The way they put all the nonsense in the world on Canada and make it Canadian, which is of course
It's so
tradition,
funny,
but so Meghan and Harry are the prince
They
and
just want
princess
privacy.
of Canada, and they want privacy, but of course they're protesting that they want privacy. They move to South Park and they put
They get
signs
people's
outside.
attention and then say, "Hey, man,
hey,
give us
stop
some
looking at us.
privacy.
We want privacy."
Hey, you know what? I just thought when we have Kevin on, his head doesn't flap.
That is true. We should ask him about that. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe he's from like overseas and his family moved to Canada. So
Maybe he was born in America.
Oh, maybe that is.
Maybe he'll be able to tell us more about that next time.
He doesn't have-
We'll have to have him on again soon.
Flappy head,
Yeah.
head syndrome. But besides South Park, I watched. This is nothing for anybody else, but Superman, Batman, Battle of the Super Sons. It's like the new animated movie. DC sucks at making live action movies. I think we've experienced that
on?
over the HBO Max. They suck at making live action superhero movies, but their animated movies are awesome, and this is awesome. And the artwork is very similar to that Spider-Man movie that was out a couple years ago. Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
So it had that kind of
There's a
feel
sequel
to
for
it.
that coming out
There is
too,
a
right?
sequel to that. But this was Batman and Superman. They both have kids. They both have kids in the comics. So now it's like their kids they're trying to push them to the front.
Kids are all right.
Jonathan is Clark and Lois's kid, and Damian is Bruce's kid, and they get together to fight.
Damien was also the name of Jake the Snake Roberts' snake.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I like Jake the Snake too.
The one
I
he
did
used
too.
to carry around with him, or the one in his pants?
I don't know about the one in his pants, so that's news to me. But A&E has the biography of wrestlers. They do wrestlers every so often, and a new season kicked up. And Jake the Snake was just on this past week, 2 hours.
I haven't watched any of those, but I love those Dark Side of the Rings, man.
Dark Side of the
Those
Ring is
things
great,
are
yeah.
awesome.
Is Jake the Snake still alive?
He is still
Yeah.
alive.
Okay.
He's in terrible shape. Well,
No,
he was in really bad shape.
He
at one
got
point.
into
He's
real
cleaned
good
up
shape
now,
with
yeah.
DDP Yoga.
Yeah.
Diamond Dallas Page and DDP Yoga.
But he had a lot of, I guess, addiction problems because I think all those guys get addicted to pills because of all the pain they're in. But
Yeah.
he had
still
problems, and he got off, and then long journey getting off the pills and everything, and then doing that yoga with Diamond Dallas Page.
Cool.
Turned himself around,
I'm
but
gonna start doing yoga. It seems so relaxing.
I went to a yoga class once.
Yogurt or yoga?
Yoga, and I knew
did
the
say
yoga
he said
instructor.
yogurt.
I knew the yoga instructor, and she was like, you are the most inflexible person I've ever seen.
I mean, I can't bend at all.
This is not for you.
I can't tie my shoes, but our friend Cheryl is a yoga instructor, and she was always like, "Oh my god, it would help you out so much. You'd be able to like."
She's a
Loosen up.
yogi, I think is what
She
they
is
call
a
them,
yogi.
right? Yeah.
Hey, boo boo. You got anything else, Brian?
Yeah, Brian, what else you got?
So
As you took a big sip of your drink.
I know. No,
What are you drinking tonight?
I spilled it everywhere.
Yeah, what are you drinking out of those
This is
bathroom
coffee.
cups?
Yes,
Right?
they are the bathroom.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, they're the ones that you just get the little glass of water in, or the dentist gives you the
Rinse.
I think
rinse your mouth out with this
Christine
thing?
swiped these from the dentist. This is called Hanjan, Sensible Choice Hanjan, Americano Soju. It's like a coffee flavor. Here, I poured a little one for you.
Americano, as in coffee Americano.
You smell it. You can smell it. that was a lovely face.
Smells like coffee.
Yeah, and I don't like coffee.
Is
yeah,
it? Do I drink it as a shot? I mean, this is
Yeah, that's just a drink. But anyway, what do you think? I'm not a huge fan, but it's not awful.
I mean, it's not an overpowering taste of coffee. It's a slight coffee taste. Yeah, I mean, the problem with this is that it's so smooth. I mean, how much proof is that bottle right there?
Proof? Well, it's 12%. So
Okay,
24
proof. I mean, I could see getting fucked up on that really fast because
12%. Yeah.
These Korean shows I watch, they go through this stuff like they'll have 10 bottles in front of them, and they're out of their minds.
I can imagine. If you're not pissed out.
Yeah, that's yummy. I would not be opposed if I don't know if I could drink a whole bottle of that though. That's the thing. Like,
Well, I'm going to see if I can do it.
and that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
I feel judged.
It's so funny. I used that line earlier today. I visited my parents earlier today in Pennsylvania.
They were judging you?
And my mom always calls me before I go, and she's like, "Can you pick me up a bottle of wine?" This is a bottle of wine because apparently, like a $10 bottle of wine in New Jersey is like $15 there. So if I get her a case, it's saving her a bunch of money. And I left. I'm leaving right now. I text her, I'm leaving right now. Waiting. We're on the road. We're already past the liquor store. We're getting on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and she calls Michelle. I'm like, she's going to ask for a case of wine. I just brought her a case of wine 2 weeks ago. She's going to ask for a case of wine. She did not. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. We get there. We're eating lunch. My mom's like, oh, I got a bottle of wine in the fridge. I go get a bottle of wine. It's not the kind of wine that I bought her. So I'm like, Mom, I'm saying this with no judgment whatsoever. But that case of wine that I got you 2 weeks ago, I'm like, is there any of that left? And she's like, I don't like the way you're saying that. She's like, I specifically didn't even ask you to get me a case of wine because I knew you were going to say something. I was like, I am not saying it in a judgment way. I was just like, is it gone already? I'm not. I mean, listen, I drink like a fish. Michelle and I on Thursdays get a gigantic bottle of vodka, a bourbon, a bottle of wine, and a 12-pack of beer. And that barely makes me through the weekend. Sometimes there's some vodka left, but not a lot. So I am not judging, but she felt judged too.
But she did have none left.
She had one bottle of that left, but she was saving it. She's like, I didn't want to drink that today.
Well, my Korean show that Christine and I both watched.
That doesn't make it. Oh, everybody's got to
16
watch it.
episodes. Cinderella and the Four Knights. And
Wasn't that
I'm
a Jerry
out.
Lewis movie or something like that?
it might have been.
That was Cinderfella.
Cinderella. Now, this one was about this poor girl who ends up living with these three rich cousins, and she has
Another
these
like
missions, to
like
bring
class kind
together.
of thing.
Oh yeah, they're all about class.
But even
over there.
the American movie you watched was like kind of a class thing.
Oh,
with
oh
the
yeah,
rich,
I
definitely.
think we're
rich
getting to
sister
know
with
what
the-
he is about.
Yeah.
What he's
Which
all
is
about.
funny because Brian's not a class kind of guy. You don't see him judging people based on their money.
Oh, I do.
Oh, do you really? I've never seen you do that.
I was in Walmart today, and I was like, "These are my people."
Imagine if he did, and he really did answer you back that way. Like, oh, I do. I really do judge you.
I've never heard him say anything like, "How much do you think that guy makes?"
Like, we can't do that. No, he makes this much money.
We can't have him around.
We only have one person that we talk about how much money they make.
So you recommend this one?
Oh, I strongly.
What was it
recommend.
called?
This was Christine's favorite.
Cinderella and the Four Tops.
And the four nights.
Four nights tops.
I didn't even remember there was a number in the movie, so that was good that you got it.
And is it
16 episodes.
is it like based on Cinderella? Like
Loose, very, very
wicked
loosely.
stepsisters.
She does
and
have
stuff like that?
a bad stepmother and a bad stepsister.
Okay, so that's how they
but
get that.
they become friends in the end instead
lame.
of.
Well, there's the spoiler. We don't have to watch it.
Thank you. Have you wrapped up all 16 episodes right there?
Oh yeah, we
nice.
finished. We went through it.
But is that the climax of it? They all
It
get
was
to go friends?
16 episodes season?
16 episodes, so about 17 hours.
Hour-long episodes. Ouch.
Yeah, a little over an hour, like an hour and 6 minutes.
So any of these movies I tell you that I recommend, you never watch any of them.
No, I do. I add them to my list.
You never watch any of them, dude.
I don't know.
You watch everything that nobody's ever heard of.
But you always say Rubber. I've seen Rubber. I've watched Rubber twice.
I haven't mentioned Rubber in months. It's not even on my list of movies I've watched.
I think
You recommended it to me this
I was
week.
just saying, you mentioned it the other day.
Yeah. That was offline.
That was a month ago.
Today I watched something. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I finally watched it.
Excellent. Love that movie.
Slow at first, I thought, but it picks up, and I enjoyed it a lot. Very good. Very fun. Pedro Pascal deserves an Oscar for that movie, man. He was so good in that.
I only made it to like the first 20 minutes and I haven't gotten back to it.
Did you not like it or?
I did. I mean, it's not like I stopped. I had to stop because of something and I just never clicked back to it. I mean, these Korean shows have been killing me lately.
I'm going to call Netflix and tell them to block your access to South
They're on
Korea.
Hulu, though.
Oh, is it Hulu also? Oh, okay. I didn't know South Korea was so prolific with the making of shows.
Oh my God, there's so many.
I figured they make a lot of.
I'm sure they make a lot of
shows.
stuff, but who knew they were all coming over to America? I mean, it takes money to dub all that stuff, or whatever. Do you dub it or do you
Subtitle.
I
dub?
do. Yeah, watch with subtitles.
I guess that probably doesn't cost as much.
Like my Netflix is unrecognizable from what it was a month ago. It is all Korean.
Like
shows.
you don't see any of the stuff I see probably at first.
Oh no. Like I look at the other kids, and their recommendations, and it looks nothing like mine. Mine's destroyed. Do
you get
years building it?
Do you get
Now
those
it's
top
destroyed.
10 ones, like the top 10 movies and?
Yeah.
It's all Korean stuff, or-
That's the only thing
That's
that's
gotta be
actual.
weird. You scroll down there and you just see like Bullet Train. You're like, what?
Oh, that's
You know what was
that's
in the
kind of
top-
Korean, right?
You know what was in the top 10 this week, which was weird? Hangover 2 and 3.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
probably
that's
just
true.
got. They probably
It
just,
just
got
came
them or
on
something
Netflix,
like
I
that.
guess, maybe for that month. Yeah, well, I guess, beginning of the month. It was just the other day. So
I haven't
it's
watched
probably-
Netflix in weeks, so I don't even know what's
I
going
was
on there.
I was off them for the longest time until I discovered the Korean stuff on there.
I'm usually off them.
On there recently, I watched the Murdoch murder documentary.
I want to watch that because I've kind of been following that trial in the
they
background of my life for the
Just
last month or so.
Yeah, how did they handle? Because there was no verdict yet.
I
Like, how did they
said that to
handle
Jason the other day. I'm like, they couldn't have waited like another week and just like
the
actually
verdict
done-
was yesterday, and then or the sentencing was yesterday, right? Yeah, Thursday was the verdict.
Is he guilty?
consecutive.
Do you think he's guilty?
consecutive
yeah.
life
Okay.
sentences.
Yeah,
So,
consecutive life sentences, and then the other ones are congruent. Congruent, is that what they say? Congruent.
congruent. I find it funny. I was saying to Jason the other day at work when they do the sentencing and they're like guilty of murder in the first degree
No, they say murder. First degree, guilty.
and guilty, and then second charge murder in the first degree, guilty. So these are like 30-year to life
Then they're like-
sentences, and then they're like illegal weapon used to commit a crime, guilty. I'm like, well, who cares
Look,
about that?
watch.
If he gets 5 years for that, who
2.5
cares?
years.
Especially if they're served consecutively.
Yeah. And now they're talking about like going after him for like these financial crimes. I'm like, he's in jail for life. Like, who cares?
Like,
Like,
unless they can,
unless
he
got
has
some kind of
money that they can
but
get.
it doesn't
yeah.
sound like he's got money if he was like doing all these things to like steal money.
And he was buying a lot of opioids.
he was buying a lot of
apparently.
opioids, and I had heard
Oh, yeah.
something about.
Somebody made a comment about that at work, like $10,000 a week in opioids. And they're like, what the hell is he using?
I can't do that math, but that sounds like either $500,000 or $5 million in opioids a year. So
Gold-plated pills.
sounds like a lot. Whatever it is, it's
That's
a lot.
a big addiction there, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. Some of the other things I watched this week are just shows that I'm like getting my way through. Severance, loving that. That show is awesome.
That's on my
Apple
list
TV.
after Mythic Quest. I think I'm going to do that. one.
Shrinking, also on Apple TV.
Shrinking's so good.
I
Did
did
you watch
not
this
watch.
week's?
I did not
Oh.
watch the newest one yet. So,
But you watched last week's and how that ended.
yes,
That was
Oh,
funny.
oh, yeah. After the party, if you call it a party, yes. And then Blackbird. Michelle and I have 2 more episodes of that left.
That's fun.
Yeah. What's his face, man?
It's not fun. I was joking.
Stingray's voice,
Very
man.
sad, man. But yeah, it's good.
Just the way that Stingray talks the whole way through the whole thing.
What his sideburns do not.
Did you
Some
say that from
Burnsides.
a Civil War general had him like this?
His name was General Burnside.
his voice is awesome. And then man, Picard. This show is
Are you liking this? Or is
It's
it not?
the
I couldn't
best.
tell with that.
It's the best and worst show on television. Like it makes. I mean, they got a bunch of the old characters back, so it's fun to see them, and they don't act anything like they should act towards each other. Picard and Riker are screaming at each other, and Riker's throwing Picard off the bridge. I'm like, get the fuck out! Like, none of this makes sense in the context of the fact that these guys have been compadres for the last 30 years. Like, none of it makes sense, but it's a stupid show, so whatever. It's fun, but terrible all at the same time. Is there anything else anybody has? Because I got one big enchilada sitting out there that I haven't mentioned.
I don't.
Megan, Murdoch Murders, Rumblefish, Some Barrel Weed, South Park.
17 hours of Cinderella
Korean TV
really
does it.
ate up
So
my week.
the only other thing I watched this week, and I know Jason watched it also, was season 3, episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
Oh, I haven't seen
Oh,
that
that show, yeah.
It's really weird. Now, if you know The Mandalorian, if you've watched The Mandalorian,
Actually, we're good friends.
Season 1 and 2. Well, I'm using the royal we. If you the royal you, if you have watched The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 and did not watch the Book of Boba Fett,
You have
and
no
then you
idea
watch
what's going on.
season 3 of The Mandalorian, guess what they don't do? Tell you that there were 3 episodes in the Book of Boba Fett that basically were just Mandalorian episodes, because I am not lying when I say 3 people, Dana, former guest on the show,
Hey,
my
Dana.
sister,
Shout out. Hey,
and one of the guys at
Andy's
work
sister,
all
who-
asked me.
Hasn't been on the podcast.
No, she'll
yet.
never be on the podcast, but her husband might be. Scott might be on Sunday.
Scott, you're more than welcome
But
to join us.
3 different people were like, what the hell's going on?
Who was
Because
the third person? I'm sorry.
Jair at work. So
All right.
like these people are like confused because they don't tell you in on the previously on, they do a little
and you can't expect people to
have expected
to watch
yeah.
them all these. all
I
these
guess
other
I guess
shows,
the Disney
you know? It's
mindset is you better watch it. I mean, they don't do a preview before every Marvel movie that comes out. They just say, you haven't seen the last 30 movies in the 150 hours of TV? Well, that's not our fucking fault. We're not explaining it to you. But I feel
should be
Star Wars
somebody's fault.
I feel Star Wars isn't that way yet. And for them to just expect people to have watched another show, especially a lot of the people that I just mentioned are Mandalorian fan only Star Wars fans. Like, they couldn't tell you the difference between like
Yeah.
Darth Vader and Darth Maul.
Yeah,
But
Dana watched Star Wars, but she didn't like it.
Yeah.
She only likes she likes Mandalorian for one reason.
She didn't like Cannonball Run.
Yeah, she
and my
likes,
sister is a
but she likes Mandalorian for Grogu. That's it.
Yeah.
and my sister is a Star Wars fan only because she had to grow up with me. I mean, she's not. Oh yeah, episode 5 so much better than episode 2. She doesn't think that
But
way.
does she
so-
know a lot of it?
No. I mean, Michelle knows a lot because Michelle had to sit with me and watch all the shows. So
And
she's-
listen to you.
and listen to me and listen to people talk around her. And she has brothers that are in our age range, so they were Star Wars fans as kids. And so, the fact that the Mandalorian, they give a previously on, which is like 10 seconds long, and the only thing that the previously on
Yeah, it was
does,
hardly anything.
the only thing that previously on does is basically act as a refresher for the next scene that they're going to do, because the first scene of the new episode is the Mandalorian say, "Can I be a Mandalorian again?" And they're like, "No, you took your helmet off. You can't be a Mandalorian," which happened in one of the Boba Fett episodes. And they show that in the previously on where the armorer says, "No, you can't be a Mandalorian because you took your helmet off." So they repeat that scene in a new way to start this season.
And they took it off at the end of
and Grogu's just with him, and it's like, what? Last time we saw him, Luke Skywalker was taking him off the ship, and so there's no explanation for any of that. And so, as nerds, we know all this because we saw Book of Boba Fett, and
Let me fix my glasses.
it's so stupid. I
figured you didn't have a nerd sound.
the episode in and of itself is fine, but it's doing a lot of the same old Mandalorian tricks. Like, he went to this planet to do this thing, and then this planet sends him to this
He
planet
fought
to
a
do
big
thing.
giant thing.
Yeah, and
That was awesome.
he was on like 3 or 4 different planets, fetch questing. Get this to do this to
I
do
thought you
this
said you
to
didn't
get this.
watch.
I watched Boba Fett.
I'm talking about season 1. Season 3, episode 1. I'm talking
I didn't
about.
watch that one.
He fought something.
Oh, I thought you meant from when he
what I'm
fought that
talking
big.
Oh, the thing on
beast
Tatooine, the
Yeah.
crate dragon or whatever.
That was
Yeah.
cool. The crate dragon.
Strangers
yeah.
with Candy Lady was it?
Yes, Amy Sedaris. Yes. But
She was
so
in 2 episodes, I think.
The Mandalorian is fine. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's so funny how The Last of Us the zombie movie with Pedro Pascal and this with Pedro Pascal are basically the same show. It's him with a young person trying to keep them safe because they're the
and he's also he's the same character in No Unbearable Weight, Massive Talent.
He's trying to save a very young
same helmet.
He's trying to save a very young Nick Cage and doesn't want him to go off the beat.
He's trying to save Smokey.
Smokey. We'll get to him. Yeah, but Mandalorian, watch it. It's fun. It's whatever.
Yeah, Mandalorian.
I think they're just set. This episode, it was weird that the first episode of the season was a kind of like a setup episode. Usually you want to come with a bang and it's all, this is what's going to happen. But this was like you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to do this.
If you want something with a bang, check out Spreaker and everywhere else you can get our podcast. That's right.
Does anybody
download us, rate, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. You know what I'm talking about. It's the Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy, 1980. Oh, fuck.
Whoa.
AE Gonzo, 1970 on Twitter, AE Gonzo 1 on Instagram. Or that's backwards. I might have missed that up. I've been drinking.
What's your name?
Papa Bad Kenny?
No, you're Andy. You didn't sound Andy.
Did I not say that?
Andy.
I've only done 96 of these. I can't even get it right at this point.
Do people listen to the end? Brian didn't even say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Papa Bad Kenny.